everyone. I'm Christine Tully, President and Executive Writing Coach at Defend, Publish, and Lead, and welcome to episode 258, Skill Up Future You. At the time that I'm recording this podcast, it is December of 2025, and it seems a little bit, um, I don't know, early to be thinking about summer of 2026, but one of the things that I've learned over my longer career as an academic writer is that a lot of the best opportunities for summer writing and getting skill development in some of the things that maybe we need strengthening on for our publications, all of those things happen in the summer, almost always. Sometimes there's a few things in the spring, but a lot of times all the great writing retreats and all the different opportunities happen in the summer. And many of those opportunities open up in January of 2026. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about a couple of different ones I know that are coming up, most of which I've participated in personally, so I can personally recommend them. And the reason I'm talking about them now is that one thing that you can do that allows you to think about your writing and commit to writing, but not actually have to do the writing during the busy time of the holidays, is to just commit even 20 minutes to look around at some summer writing opportunities or some ways to develop skills. Today's episode is going to focus on things that you can do to get more writing accomplished, but also maybe learn something in the process. But there's all kinds of skill development you could do. You could learn a new software. You could go to a workshop on how to use AI more effectively. There's all those kinds of things out there. But the sad thing is, even though we're still in the middle of the fall 2025 semester, it's the time to look for things in summer and in fall 2026 already. So such is the nature of academic life, and here's some of the opportunities that I would recommend to take a look at. One of the ones that I should say this, my very first probably professional development writing retreat experience was Bard College's Institute for Writing and Thinking. I've actually gone to their summer institute twice now. Once when I was a tenure track faculty member, maybe 3 years in. This is out in New York at Bard College. It's on the Hudson River. Gorgeous. It's a week in July, a 5-day workshop series in July. And then I did it again after tenure for two different things. And they run different workshops during this 5-day period where you live on the Bard College campus and you go to basically classes for morning sessions and then afternoon. The food is great. You stay in the dorms, which is kind of fun. You work with some other writers. And it's a relatively low cost experience. I don't remember what their current cost is. You can check it out. It's gotten more expensive since I've gone there, 12, 13 years ago. But one of the things I can say about this one that I recommend is that you write every day and you write in every session, and it can be connected to your thinking or your teaching. So if you're somebody that really is getting into writing about your teaching, you want to do SOTL work, you want to think about how to support your students with writing, this is definitely the institute for that. They run a ton of other workshops. Some are virtual, some are on the campus of Bard College. The Summer Institute, though, I found was really great for connecting with a community of practice with other people from all over the place. Some people were college professors, some people were high school teachers, some people were community college professors. And one of the things that I found most helpful in this workshop is that because there is writing every day, it really forces you to sit and confront some of the things going on in your writing. So if you hate to sit in the chair, you're going to discover that right away, but also be with a supportive community of writers to help you get through that. And a lot of times there's prompts, there's a lot of reflection. Just great practices and modeling. Like, I just cannot recommend it enough. I had a great time both times I went. And I will say the second time around, obviously I knew more. I really enjoyed, participating in a lot of the activities. They also have some social things. It's close to Woodstock. So there's lots of great things about it. If you're able to travel and want to do something like that, that was one that had really great connections to teaching. So if you want to get something about your teaching and your writing, that would be the one. That was Bard College's Institute for Writing and Thinking. I will put links to all of the things I'm recommending in the show notes, and I believe registration for this one opens in January. There are some grants too that you can apply for. The second one, this is one I have not gone to, but I wanted to put one in that is happening sooner rather than later. Because for some of us, we really want something where we could get away even in the spring semester. And I know that Hollins University runs one for the it's basically run through this Tinker Mountain community of writers, and they are running one February 20th to the 22nd, 26th. There's these little courses, like mini courses that you can work with. It's geared more a little bit creatively, although I think if you're still working on academic work, you can get a lot out of it, particularly if you're doing any kind of public scholarship. So, for example, if you're thinking about blog posts or Substacks or any of that kind of stuff, or create, anything where you can use some creative nonfiction skills, it's great. If you're in creative writing, of course, there's all kinds of opportunities there, but they're really open to any kind of manuscript development that you want to do, whether it's shorter or longer. So I like the idea too that they have this very sort of targeted approach where they realize it's the spring semester and you want to knock something out. You want to get like a little mini, weekend away to get some faculty development. This would be one I would recommend. So that one's February 20th to the 22nd in 2026, and I would recommend trying that one out. A third one, this is one I went to last summer. I will definitely recommend this one. It was great. It is the Writing in Depth Academic Writing Retreat. This one was held at the end of July. It's in Southern Ohio in a rural area out there. Food was fabulous. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see all the yummy food that we had all the time. And it was really great because this was one where it was a long weekend where you could think through your writing project that you're working on, an academic writing project, and actually make some movement on it. So they gave you time to do some writing, but also you came together for a couple of more reflective practices. There was a lot of circle time where you could share things out. And I know I really appreciated the emphasis on having some time to work in sort of a beautiful area where everyone was working. It was really motivating. People were cheering each other on. Like, can't recommend it enough. This one I also believe opens in January or February. So this one again was Writing in Depth and Academic Writing Retreat. I will put a link to that in the show notes, but also great. I've never gone before, but that was my first time last summer. It's a wonderful experience. I got a lot of work on my book that I've talked about a lot on the it's called On Sabbatical, and I've talked a lot about it on the podcast. A good deal of one of the chapters was written during this retreat, even though it was a very condensed portion of time. So very productive. Another one that's out there is a summer faculty writing retreat that this one's offered by Bowling Green State University. So this one's just kind of a long weekend, July 29th to July 31st. This is one it's just short, targeted. You're just supposed to be able to have some time to get some work done. I have not gone to it personally, but I am familiar with Bowling Green because I'm an alum of the university and they do some great work over at their Center for Faculty Excellence. So this is a shorter stint. And the thing I like about this one is that it lines up right before August 1st. And one of the things we've talked about on this podcast is how it's really important to try to get some last bursts of writing in, because faculty members that try to get some writing completed in August, a lot of times it just doesn't happen for us because the semester's ramping up. We have new preps, we have new responsibilities. Many of us have to be back on campus by the second week of August and more FaceTime and stuff like that. So it's kind of a good last burst to get yourself on track before maybe you lose some of those free hours. So that was the Summer Faculty Writing Retreat at Bowling Green. The last one I want to recommend is virtual because I realize not everybody wants to travel, and especially if you are an academic parent with young kids at home in the summer, traveling just might not be practical. I definitely have been there over the years. So one of the things that I want to recommend is from our sponsor, Textbook and Academic Authors Association. I talk about them all the time and how much I love them. But one thing that is new about them in 2026 is that they're going to have their very first Textbook and Academic Authors Institute. And this is basically a session, a 2-day session where you can learn all kinds of academic writing skills, even if you're an experienced author. And there are different ways that you can go. So if you're into doing textbooks, you can stay in that track. If you're doing scholarly, like academic articles or books, you can stay in that track. But the idea is that you learn new information regardless of where you are in the process. So if you're a novice academic writer, a textbook and authors association is always great because of all the templates and all the webinars and all the instruction. But even if you are an experienced author, there is actually a track for people that have been writing for a long time. And so one of the things that I sort of like about thinking through skilling up in the summer is that, I've been in this career 24 years. That's a really long time. So I know personally, I like to do some things to keep my academic writing fresh because otherwise, the years kind of blend together, projects blend together. So this one, I would definitely recommend. All of their efforts are extremely reasonable. And as mentioned before, joining Textbook and Academic Authors Association to be able to get a lot of opportunities like this, you can do it for $25 US for the year. All you have to do is use capital D, capital P 25 as the coupon code. So that's another opportunity that I think could be really, really helpful. Another thing that you might think about as you join that organization, you can do all kinds of discounting, even if you're a non-member. So here would be a thing that you could do for a non-member code. If you don't want to join TAA, even though it's only $25, but you want to go to the Institute, just use DP10 and you could get $10 off the non-member rates. So it's definitely a cheaper rate for you to attend the Institute. One other thing too is that non-member rates, it's only $100 to go to this institute for graduate students, and then it's $150 for everyone else. So this is something that is really low cost in terms of all of the retreats that I presented today. So things to think about for this one. I will put all the links in the show notes. And finally, another way to do your skilling up, our holiday coaching special is still going on where our writing coaching hours are at the lowest price of the year. We only have 2 weeks to go on that. So if you are interested in getting some hours at a discount, we have many discounts happening. Reach out to me at Christine at defendpublishedlead.com. Happy writing this week.